careful with my words because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. And I've done that from time to time, and I've said something, and they go home, and their parents are like, "What? You never told me that." Yeah. So I'll be very careful with what I say. Okay. First, is Rosalind happen to be in the audience anywhere? Yes, no? Okay. She is a senior, but because of personal reasons, she couldn't finish at Monterey Trail. So in the off chance that she came tonight, I had something for her, so I just want to make sure. So I think I'll start with one of the nicest people in band. Not that everybody in band is nice, but this person has been described as, like all the time, as he's just a really nice guy. And I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him ever, like seriously, not like when they're joking around, like in the section, but he's a really nice guy and super humble. He's a wonderful clarinet player, but he has never wanted the first chair. He's always shied away from it. Anytime there was a solo, he wanted to give it to somebody else. Anytime he'd be asked to stand in front of the band and take, earn the flowers that he's deserved, he's not been one to take it. But he's been quietly one of the strongest clarinet players we've had in the program, and it's been a wonderful ride, like having Maxwell Tran. And Maxwell was voted most likely to nail every clarinet solo. So there's a senior superlative. The seniors voted on, most likely to go skydiving on their 18th birthday, I don't know. But, those types of things. So they're getting a 2025 green and gold lei, thanks to the Monterey Trail High School band boosters. And they get a plaque. I mean, let's face it, they spent years with me. They knew I was still here and they came back the following year. So that means something. All right, one of the biggest, success stories in band, I think. Normally, the normal path to doing band is start in the middle school somewhere, and then go from middle school to high school. And, that's just kind of the pathway that you take. Every once in a while, somebody joins band who's never done band before, but they want to do band. And so this student came in and wanted to play band, and I stuck a clarinet in their hand. And, it's hard starting off as a beginner in band because we don't have a beginning band class. It's just jump in the deep end and let's see if you swim. And she just kept treading water and treading water. And then eventually the treading water turned into a doggy paddle. And then the doggy paddle turned into whatever the next swimming stroke is. I used to get, students used to say, I never hear them play. I never hear them play. I said, don't worry about it. It'll come in time. And tonight she had a solo.
Oh, yeah.
And so, proof that you can start never being in band Stick with it. And this is what Jennifer Silva has done. Most likely to vlog everything. Congratulations. This next person has a really good poker face. And almost to the point where I almost don't want to trust them. Because they can look you, do we already know who it is? Because they can look you in the face and then just go, no, that didn't happen, I don't know what you're talking about. But I've learned you've got to look at the body language. It's the leg, he's sitting down, it's the knees moving back and forth, or it's the ankle bouncing up and down. And I don't know why I've always had this like, oh, I can't trust him because he's got that face, but he's always done the right thing. He's always been somebody who's connected with others, who goes out of his way to make sure that even if they are a freshman in the program and he's a senior, he still goes out of his way to make sure that they feel welcome and included. And they even said so in his drum major evaluations. There's apparently video evidence, which I have not seen, where he was kicked out of the band room one day. I don't know if that's actually true, but his senior superlative is most likely to get kicked out of the band room. Don't know how that happened, but this is Mr. Jaden Blue. The senior class is not a big senior class. They were freshmen the year we came back from COVID. And so their 8th grade year was Zoom. And a lot of people took band on Zoom and then said no. But this handful of seniors came back. And then sophomore year, it was time to choose a drum major. But no one applied. And so I said, hey, you're gonna have a rough senior year if none of you sophomores apply to be junior drum major. And then sophomore came into my office and said, I guess I'll do it. And I said, no. This isn't a job where you can guess if you're gonna do something. And I said, this is what I'll be asking you to do. This is what it takes to be a drum major. Think about it over the weekend. Come back to me on Monday and let me know. If you don't want to do it, just don't say anything. But let me know on Monday. He came back on Monday. And he said, I want to do it. And one of the things one of the things I'm most proud of with him is he's afraid of heights. But he climbs up on that drum major podium with no railing every rehearsal, in every football game, in every performance, showing no fear, knowing that's the last place he would choose to be. And that's the person who decided to lead the band. I think for context, he has a freshman sister. And his freshman sister have friends. And they might end up, or they hang out at his house, I don't know. There's parties at the Rohan house all the time, apparently. But he was voted most likely to get into a fight with the freshman. This is bad in real life. Something hot on stage. So this is like the extremes. Donovan, we can hear a mile away. Like, there's no sneaking up on you. However, we have the opposite end of the spectrum as well. And he rarely says a word, but his presence, he's always there. Whether it's 108 degrees and he's dripping with like sweat on at a marching rehearsal, and it's like, dude, are you okay? Do you need some water or something? No. Okay. I mean, okay. You know, later he shows up. I have a fever. But can I still play? No. Go home. Do I have to? Yes. Okay. Like, sophomore year, I remember the day he smiled.
Yeah.
It was the biggest, most beautiful smile I think the band had ever seen, and it was the last time he did it in the presence of us. Because he smiled, the whole band class went,
Yeah.
and then he went, but that's the personality that makes up the band. And I have this thing where I don't want people in band to fit in. I want people in band to feel like they belong. No regard, you don't have to be goofy or yelly or outgoing, you can be exactly who you are. And Chris was voted most nonchalant. Mr. Christopher Shue. You didn't know. And so I've spent a lot of time in the back of band rooms. And so that means I spent a lot of time doing stupid things in the backs of band rooms. And I remember being in high school doing stupid, I used to take naps inside the bass case like that. Just do really random things. Because the band's not looking at you. I wonder if that has something to do with my distrust sometimes of percussionists, because I know what went on in my head. But this next one always does the right thing. He has fun, like any other high schooler, but always believes that there is a right way to get something done. And not everybody is like that. Always believes that there's a sense of responsibility there. And making sure that he meets his obligation. And make sure that if there is a scheduling conflict, that he is able to work around that scheduling conflict and communicates ahead of time what needs to happen so that things happen. Even when he's off preparing to be a United States Marine, still coming back to rehearsal. And I've had a few Marine students and former students in the past, and the best Marines have had this innate sense of like purpose and duty. And in talking to him, he's joining the Marines for all of the right reasons. And he is going to be one of the finest Marines I think the Marine Corps has ever had. He's most likely to be the strongest senior, Caleb Hall. This next one said, please don't just say you've watched me grow over the years. Say something better than that. But that's my joy. How many other teachers get to spend this much time with these students over this long a period of time? And you get to watch them grow. And you get to watch them go through different style phases, from the Ellen outfits to like girly girl and everything in between. When you look out at like the front ensemble and the first person you notice is her, and everybody's like, yeah, love the energy coming out of that front ensemble, specifically her. And you know, she's worked her butt off, whether it's basketball in her freshman year, and maybe the sophomore year, I don't remember, and then tennis, and going from a rehearsal or a practice that ends at 6 to a band rehearsal that begins at 6:30, and somehow still managing to eat dinner and saying, no, I'll take care of it later, I'll be okay, I have to be at rehearsal. One of her greatest excitements was, I think this year she was talking about it, because her entire family is joined band. And so she was really excited about this. She said this is the 1 year she gets to be in band with her cousin and her brothers. And so it's been an amazing ride, most likely to be strict and nice at the same time. Can't go through. So many places to start with this next one. So, he has an amazing ear, a wonderful ear for music. And I'm not entirely sure how much music he read when he was a freshman. I'm not entirely sure how much music he reads now as a senior. I honestly am not sure. He has a really good ear that makes up for it all. And when we go to jazz competitions, the first thing people notice is the bass player. And that's, with our band in particular, every festival comment we've got, man, that bass player is great. Man, that bass player is laying it down. Man, that bass player listens. That bass player knows music. We were having a conversation. I think we were listening to a song by Billie Holiday. And he's like, oh man, that's Strange Fruit. I'm like, who the heck knows at 17, 18 years old Strange Fruit? So I said, that's right. But do you know her real first name? And he said, said, well, that's right. And then later we're listening to some Charles Mingus, and he goes, oh, that's Fables of Fathers. I'm like, what you know about Fables of Fathers? He starts talking to me about Fables of Fathers. While he goes and sits down and plays some Stevie Wonder. I'm like, okay. And then some other time we're sitting in the band room, and there's some rock thing on YouTube, and he's like, oh man, listen to this band. Have you heard this Chili Peppers thing? I'm like, okay. He's like, oh man, in my alt rock phase, and he starts naming these alt rock bands. I'm like, hold on a minute. How are you gonna have a conversation with me about Billie Holiday, Charles Mingus, Stevie Wonder, and Shred Hot Chili Peppers? Like, that's a musical mind right there. That's a musical ear. And voted most likely to have a future in music with a name like Yasir Flournoy. I've never seen that name in my life. Band needs one of these. The first one, my first years here, his name was William Coylton. Also played saxophone. Also played alto saxophone. I don't know if it's a saxophone thing. He brought the party to the band. And as a freshman, that wasn't always a good thing. But you can tell when he learns to use his powers for good, because that is his superpower. And when he infects the rest of us with his good mood and his silliness and his bounciness and the long hair, then it spreads to the rest of the band. And the band has had more fun because of him, which is why, two things. He was voted most spirit and life of the party, as well as the John Philip Sousa Senior Band Award, Mr. Michael Cahill. We have one more, and then we're going to play one more piece for you at the end. After the concert, we are the last music group to perform in this hall. So after we're done, percussion actually has to wheel all of Sheldon High School's percussion back to their band room. And wind players get to take down these shelves. There's a bunch of us, so it shouldn't take that long. So I appreciate the patience at the end. It's one of the joys of going on a Friday. So, thank you so much. This last member, I don't think joined their freshman year. As a good number of them, or some of them did not. But in their time here, she's done so many things, from playing clarinet, to playing the bass, to being in the percussion section, to playing keyboards in the front ensemble, to letting us borrow her MacBook to load sound effects into it, from being a TA in band and helping to organize the library, being the social media coordinator, and putting up all of our, she probably has, she's recording the concert tonight, like she's still working right now. I hope none of this ends up on YouTube. But she's done pretty much anything that you can ask. She did ask me not to say anything that would get her in trouble, and I promised her that I would not. So I won't. There. I kept my promise. Whoever's sniffing and crying over here. Yeah. But it's been absolutely a treat because everything that we've needed, she's been there for. And she was voted the mother of the band, and she is the recipient of the Director's Award for Band. This is Anne K. Dimaisi.